welcome to beginner level trimester 1 workout number 2. So if you're not sure whether or not these are the right workouts for you, click on the link that I'll attach to this video, and I'll tell you why I think my prenatal series is going to be the best series out there available on YouTube. So today, the equipment that you're going to need for workout 2, you don't need all of this, you just need your choice of one of the following. So we're going to be doing later on in the workout, when we get to our functional movement, we're going to be doing a sumo squat. So you're going to need either something like a 20-pound dumbbell or a kettlebell. Now you could go heavier, but I'm going to recommend, because it's a beginner workout, stick with a lighter weight initially, 15 to 20 pounds. Make sure you've got the form, make sure it feels okay, and then you can jump up the weight. So if you have multiple sets of dumbbells or kettlebells, you'll be golden. That you might have around your house. So if this is your second child, you probably have a car seat, or maybe you're really prepared and you've gone ahead and purchased a car seat. So what I've got here is a car seat, and I've loaded up with a full bottle of salsa and some V8 type juice. So with those two things in there, that's about 20 pounds. So there's a really practical thing that you could be using to make it as real life as possible. The other thing I'm going to get you to have, just for part of the warm-up, is going to be a chair. We're going to review your chair squats. So go ahead and get that stuff ready and meet me back here. Okay, so like we did last time, we're going to start off with our core activation. We're going to do some core and a little bit of postural movement education, integrate some of squatting review and our dynamic stretches. That will all function as your warm-up. Let's get started. So I'd like you to lie on your back, review with some of the cues we did last time. Last time we did just a plain lying kegel. So we're going to start off with a few of those. What I want you to think of is a grape placed underneath your back. So right underneath your spine, you want to apply a little bit of pressure onto that grape, but not too much. Think about that kegel. So if you had to pee really bad, no washroom around, you're bringing your awareness down to that pelvic floor, and that's the most important contraction, is that drawing the pelvic floor up or holding the P muscles. So try to do that. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And again, little grape underneath the back. I want you to hold the P muscles. Go, hold. Good. Now maintain that contraction. Double check. Are your shoulders relaxed? Are your glutes released? Are your glutes relaxed? If that's the case, keep holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. If either one of those muscle groups, chest or glutes, were tight, keep your hands there, keep cueing yourself and remind yourself not to do that. Once again, think about the kegel. Fire that kegel, a little pressure on that imaginary grape. Glutes are nice and relaxed. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Okay, now you have the option here to continue just doing contractions of 5 seconds without any advancement. If you feel like you've got that down, then you can progress to this next little movement. So fire the kegel, little grape underneath the back, glutes are released, shoulders are relaxed, keep maintaining that kegel, and all I want you to do is to march one foot, then the other foot. We're going to do 6 marches. 2, 3, keep thinking about that kegel. 4, 5, think about that kegel. 6, relax everything, and again reset. Now let's double check this time. Let's focus and make sure you're still breathing, not holding your breath throughout. So imaginary grape, fire the kegel, hold those P muscles, glutes and shoulders are released, so you've got that working. Make sure you're doing some easy breathing, and again, go for a little march 6 times. 1, 2, 3, keep firing that kegel. 4, 5, 6. Good, so just a slight little advancement there. Adding some movement makes it a little bit, and review the prone position right from your tummy. Again, trimester 1, you're probably comfortable in this position, won't be forever. And the advantage of this position is that you've got that contact of the belly on the ground, so you've got that instant feedback of whether or not you're pulling that belly button up Pulling the belly button up and away is one part of the abdominal contraction, but the most important part is that kegel or that pelvic floor lift or that hold the P. So focus on that as well. So from here, what I want you to do, again, hold the P, pull the belly button up and hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Let the belly, feel the belly spread across the floor. And again, hold the P, fire that kegel, whatever works for you. Pull the belly button up, hold 5, 4, 3. Glutes are relaxed, 2, 1, and release. Go up onto all fours. Remember that feeling of pulling that belly button away from the ground. And once again, fire the kegel. Pull the belly button up and hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Let the belly hang down. Take a little break. Fire the kegel. Pull the belly button up. Make sure you're still breathing and hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And again, one last time. Fire the kegel. Pull the belly button up and hold 5, 4, 3. Still breathing. 2. Glutes are relaxed. 1, and release. A little bit of posture movement education here. So we did external shoulder rotations in workout 1. We'll do those again. So that's one part of posture awareness. The other part is, where do you put your shoulder blades if you're going to be doing a push-up position? So what I want you to do is to, from all fours, and I really encourage you to do this in front of a mirror after you watch me do it to figure out what I'm doing. What you want to do is you want to, with straight arms, so lock out your arms, I want you to allow your shoulder blades to collapse together so that I feel them pinching together, and then I push out of the heels of my hands and my shoulder blades spread across my back. So if I had, these would be my shoulder blades. What happens is when I collapse, I feel them slide in. When I push out of the heels of my hands and my shoulder blades separate, they separate across my back like that. So again, what it looks like when I'm actually doing the movement, shoulder blades collapse, then shoulder blades push. Shoulder blades collapse, shoulder blades push. You don't want to push up so far that you're rounding through the upper back. The top of the movement, you should still just be a nice flat back position. Shoulder blade collapse and push. Try not to make sure your neck is doing the movement. It's all just about the shoulder blades. Let's go 3 more. And again, why this is important, because we're going to be doing some upper body strengthening and posture movement from a push-up position. You need to know how to set your shoulder blades so you're stronger and you prevent injury. Last one here. Good. Okay, let's get your chair close by. We're going to review a couple of... So your chair is close by. We're just going to do some squats. We do 10 squats, a dynamic stretch. 10 squats and a dynamic stretch. So this will function as a little bit of a warm-up and remind us how to do a proper squat. So if you remember last time when we were squatting, we want our feet about shoulder width apart, feet straight ahead. When we squat down, we don't want our knees pushing beyond our toes. We want our knees tracking about with our second or third toe. We touch the chair, and then as we come up, we fire glutes and hamstrings to come up. Down and glutes and hamstrings. There's 2, 3. Actively squeezing the glutes and hamstrings to come up. 5. If you don't have to, don't actually sit on the chair, just brush your bum. Let's go 2 more. 1, 2. Good. Get into a lunge position. Back toe is pulled off the ground, so that gives me just a little bit of stability. And I lift up and lower down. We're going to do 5 aside here. 3, 4, last one, and 5. Take your hands on the inside of your foot, switch your feet around, back toe touches under to give you a little bit of stability. Find a position where you're just ever so slightly feeling the stretch in the back thigh, and then lift up, and as you lift, you're going to feel a little bit more of a stretch. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, let's get back to that chair. Another 10 chair squats. I'll do them from the front this time. So Again, you can check out the form there. Feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Squatting down and come back up. If you feel like you progress to the point where you want to get rid of the chair and you want to go even deeper, go for it. Make sure your form is impeccable though. And you're thinking more glutes and hamstrings, so extend through the hips to stand up as opposed to just pushing through the quads. Always working on glute and hamstring activation during our pregnancy. So ultimately, we're teaching the body to take some of the loading off the low back. And last one here. Okay. And your option here, option number one, the easier option is to get a glute stretch in through here. Sit on the chair up nice and tall. Then you can hinge forward about 10 times on each side. Just doing a little movement like so. Okay, so 10 of those on each side. That's level number one. If you want to go a little bit more advanced, keep it more dynamic, you can use the chair and you can do just little movements up and down. This requires a little bit more stability, more body awareness, so do whichever one is right for you. I do recommend the chair to start off with. And then we're going to switch to the other side. Shake out your leg. Support knee, make sure it's tracking straight ahead. You don't want the support knee collapsing in. 1, 2. We'll do about 8 on this side. I think that's what we did on the last one. Good. Okay. So get the chair out of the way. Let's do another set of our core activation. So lying on our backs, we're going to go straight to the marches this time. Marches are an option. If you feel you just want to do the 5-second contractions, that's fine too. So think kegel, little break underneath your back, shoulders are relaxed, and you're either holding for about 5 to 10 seconds, or we're doing a little 6-foot march. 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep firing that kegel. 6, and relax. Make sure you're breathing. Let's have the focus on these next 2 sets to really be focused on breathing comfortably throughout. Draw that belly button in, push the low back gently into that grate, fire that kegel, really hold that kegel. Glutes are relaxed. 1, breathing comfortably. 2, 3, keep holding onto that kegel. 4, 5, 6, and release. And again, one more time. Fire the kegel. Find that low back pressure. Shoulders are back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. So there was a set of 18, almost 20. Get onto all fours, and we're going to do our prone kegel with a little bit of add-on this time. So find that good position, shoulders over top of your hands, hips right over top of the knees. Fire the kegel. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. Here comes the add-on. This time when you set the kegel, go ahead, set the kegel, draw the belly button up. What I want you to do is to reach 1 foot back and then down. So we're going to do, we'll call these upside down marches almost. It's more like a leg reach back. A little bit harder to maintain the kegel in this position, I find. We're really going to work on it, challenging your body in different positions. And relax. If you found the extension a little bit too hard, I'm going to drop it, make it a little bit easier this time. Relax everything, fire the kegel, draw the belly button in tight. And this time, all I want you to do is to shift one knee off, and then shift the other leg off. So instead of a reach, just shift the knee off the ground. That might be a little bit more feasible at this stage of the game. You're able to focus more on that kegel. So don't know if you can see, hopefully you can. I'm just lifting the back knee off and relax about 1 inch or 2. Okay, and again, draw the belly button in, kegel is fired, and lift the knee off. 1. Doing 6 little lifts. 2. Fire that kegel. 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. One more time. This time when you lift the knee, just lift it high enough to slide a piece of paper underneath. One more time. Draw the belly button in. Fire that kegel, most importantly, and lift. Just enough to slide a piece of paper underneath. 2. Keep breathing. Kegel's fired. 4, 5, 6. Good. Okay, let's go onto your back, and we're going to do some glute and hamstring strengthening. So from here, palms are up. I want you to try and fire that kegel. I want you to bridge your hips up. So this is where we were at for workout number 1, was just to bridge up and lower down. And bridge up and lower down. If you found that sufficiently challenging, I want you to go ahead and do a set of 12 to 20. If you feel like you can progress, join me right now. Okay, fire that kegel, lift up, and once again, I want you to imagine that little piece of paper shifting underneath the foot. So just lift each foot high enough to slide a piece of paper underneath it. Once again, magic number 6. So there's 6 lifts, and then lower down. So let's try that again. Set the kegel, draw the belly button in, squeeze the glutes and hamstrings. So this time, yes, you are squeezing the glutes and hamstrings. You're lifting up, and what I want you to do is just to lift one foot off the ground at a time. 2, 3, not too high. Hips stay nice and square. 4, 5, 6. The biggest mistake you can make here is by lifting that foot too high off. It's actually more challenging to do that small lift. Now, if you feel you find any tension through the low back when you do that, any soreness, go back to just the double hip bridge. We're going to do one more set of 6, or you're just continuing with the hip bridge and lower. Kegel is fired. Squeeze the glutes, lift up off the ground, and tiny little shift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Now that the glutes are nice and fired and primed up, I want you to review. We did this last time, the kneeling deadlift. So from an all-4 position, get your hands back a little bit closer, squeeze the glutes, and come up and back down. Squeeze the glutes, come up and back down. Squeeze the glutes and back down. Try to maintain the core activation and back down. Squeeze the glutes to come up and back down. You have to actively think about recruiting glutes and hamstrings to do this. Hopefully, because we've already primed them up, you're finding it that they're pretty easy to wake up. You have to experiment. I usually like shoelaces down. So really focus on that pelvic thrust to come up. And one last time, pelvic thrust to come up. Okay, just a little bit of a dynamic hamstring stretch here. I want you to shift one foot forward as if we're doing that hip flexor stretch, and I want you to shift the knee back an inch or 2. Keep the chest nice and close to that front thigh. Shift your hips back. Hold 1, 2, 3. Release forward ever so slightly so you just feel the release of tension on the hamstring. And again, 1, 2, 3. Shift forward. And last time, 1, 2, 3. Swing your hands around so we can switch sides. Establish what you feel like is almost that hip flexor position. Lift the knee back an inch or 2. Keep your chest close to that right thigh. Shift your tailbone back. Pull the front toe up. Nice stretch already through here. Holding 3, 2, 1, and release. And again, 3, 2, 1, and release. And 3, 2, 1. Okay, trying to move on to our first functional movement pattern. So this is where you need your weight or your baby carriage. I'm going to show you first with the kettlebell. I'll show you kettlebell position. I'll show you all 3 positions so you know what you're working with the options. So what we're going to be doing is a sumo squat here. So a sumo squat is basically a squat with our toes turned out, and you're going to squat down as far as you can till you've got that weight position nice and close to your body. You don't want to reach it too far. It's almost like it's underneath your body. So just should be almost in line with the arch of your foot. When you come up, what you're doing is I want you to imagine almost like there's a big ball, huge ball in between your legs, and you're trying to squeeze it together in order to lift your body up. Your upper back stays nice and tight. So if I'm using the dumbbell, squeezing together, shoulders come back at the top and then drop back down. Squeeze those knees together and back down. So that imaginary ball between your legs squeezing. So we're getting the adductors and the glutes working here, hopefully more than the quads. The adductors and the hamstrings kind of work as a unit, so it's another way to get some sneaky hip glute activation a little bit there. Okay, so that's what it looks like. You're going to do 12 to 15 with whatever option of piece of equipment you want. So I'm going to show a few reps with each piece of equipment. The kettlebell is the most challenging because it's going to be the lowest, if you can, going all the way to the ground. Now, if you've got the kettlebell and you don't quite have the flexibility or the strength to go all the way down, then go to about an inch or two from the ground. When you come to the top of the movement, shoulders back. Very important in this movement, no matter which activity or which, weight you choose. When you do the squat down, do not let your knees collapse forward. You're really pushing your knees back. Pushing your knees back. So keep going until you've done a set of 12 to 15. If I was using my trusty baby buggy, what it would look like. This one would be the easiest because it's highest off the ground, but the same movement pattern. So I could almost come down so I can get a full movement. So I'm going to come down with my elbows bent so I can get a deeper position. Lifting up, set the shoulders when I come up, and squat back down. Lifting up. So I only have access to the full weight near the top of the movement, but it's still good. You can still work on that functional movement. Okay, so 12 to 15 reps. You should have had time to do that, depending on which piece of equipment you were doing. Second exercise, we're going back to our external shoulder rotations. So same movement that we did in workout number 1. Palms are up, shoulders down and back. Belly button is pulled in, low back is pushed into the wall. We're trying to keep our elbows relatively close to the body, and we're trying to touch our thumbs back to the wall. 2, 3, going for 15 reps. 4, 5, 6. Don't forget, of course, to stop in between any exercise. Stop the video and grab some water. Important to stay hydrated. Double check, make sure your elbows are staying in tight. 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so go back to whichever piece of equipment you are using for the Sumo Squat. I'm going to use my trusty kettlebell. So really important, again, nice wide stance. If you have the range, go right down to the ground, up and down every time. Don't let the knees collapse in. I'm actively pushing my knees back this way. Double check your feet. Alignment should be perfect. So perfectly symmetrical. Hips square over top of your feet, and both feet should be angled at the same angle. Mine are, probably about a 60-degree angle. At the top of the lift, I pull the shoulders back. Again, you've got that imaginary huge beach ball between the legs. Try to pop it to pull yourself up, so squeezing it together. If you've done any dancing or any pliés, if you think about pulling your legs together through a plié, I don't remember my dancing term, sorry about that. That's the kind of movement that you want. Now, if you feel unstable because your feet are too wide, you can bring them in just a little bit. So you want to find a comfortable position. 12 to 15 reps. Trying to feel those glutes and hammies working predominantly over the quads. Lifting at the top, maybe some postural muscles working here. 3 to go. Last one. Make sure you take your time to put the weight down with good form. Back over to the wall. External shoulder rotations, knees slightly bent, shoulders up and back, palms are up, rotating back to touch the wall. 15 repetitions. I like the wall almost as much as the elastic because it gives you that feedback. Now, if you have more flexibility and range than me, and you find just touching your thumbs too easy, make a fist and aim to touch that full back part of your hand up against the wall. I find for me, touching the thumbs is an adequate challenge, and I really feel my upper mid-back working. 3 to go. 1, 2, 3. Now, if you have time, I encourage you to do a third set of that before moving on to our final exercise series. Okay, so second movement series that we're going to do is going to be a mountain climber from the floor. So remember when we did those scapular pushes, you want to make sure you're in the top position of the scapular push, so your shoulder blades aren't collapsed, but you're in that top position. Set that core, kegel is fired, and then I want you to go into a full push-up. Now from here, maintain the upper scapular position, keep the belly button drawn in, and I want you to drive one leg, hold 1, 2, and switch. 1, 2, and switch. 1, 2, and switch. 1, 2. Okay, we're just going to advance it just slightly. You're going to go knee touch and then drive the toe a little bit higher. So knee drive and then actually tap that toe just an inch or two higher without rounding through that spine when you do that extra little toe movement. So knee drive, toe tap. Knee drive, toe tap. That extra little toe tap should fire the abs just a little bit more. Keep drawing the belly button in, firing that kegel. We got 4 more. 1, doing a total of 20 side. 2, 3, and 4. And relax down, push back into a little bit of a a child's pose. Reach over to one side and then the other. And flip over on your back. We're going to do floor flatteners, another good postural exercise and a good way to get back to the kegel. So fire the kegel, little grip underneath your back, hands pressed into the floor, trying to get the wrists on the back of the mat. Reach your hands up, sliding, and then come down. 15 repetitions. Thinking about that kegel. 2, 3, 4, actively pushing the hands into the mat, feeling the upper back muscles working. There's 5. Relax the kegel for 1 second, reset the kegel, another 5. 1. So while the focus on this exercise really is about posture, it's a perfect exercise to reconnect with that kegel and drawing the belly button in. Make sure you're breathing, not holding your breath. There's another 5. Relax the kegel, reset, belly button in, a little grape underneath your back. 1. Reach down a little bit further if you can, without letting the upper back come off, without letting the wrist swing off the ground. 2 to go. 1 and 2. Okay, go back to your push-up position, just changing positions, and this gets a better view of the camera. So once again, let the shoulder blades collapse, push up so you're in that good shoulder blade or scapular set, belly button in nice and tight, kegel engaged, go into that push-up. So your option here is to do the knee tap or the knee drive into the toe tap, or just stay with the knee drive. So go whichever level feels comfortable for you. I'm going to do the first 4 just with the knee drive, and then I'm going to do my last 16 adding the toe tap. If you do that toe tap, double check. Your upper back should not change position through that toe tap. There's 10. 1. Keep drawing that belly button in. 2, 3, 4. Upper body's working really hard to stabilize through that movement. I should say. 4 to go. drawing that belly button in. That might have been it. We're going to do 2 more. And relax. Push back, child's pose. Let's do wide knee child's pose this time. Head on the ground. Walk your fingertips forward. Now over to one side and over to the other side. And into another set of floor flatteners. So kegel is fired, shoulders back. Let's do 10 this time before we reset the kegel. Reaching up and down as far as you can. Kegel still turned on. Low back gently pressed into the grape. So if I'm talking about that grape, just a reminder, you have an imaginary grape placed underneath your spine. You're not crushing it. You're just gently applying pressure. Kegel still pulled up and in. Here's 10 right here. Relax the kegel. Relax the core for just a sec. Reset everything. Little grape, belly button in, kegel fired. 5 more reps. 1. Good chest opener, upper back worker. 2. 3. Keep that kegel turned on. 4. Last one. And 5. And you are done. So let's just do a quick couple of stretches here. Go into a kneeling hip flexor stretch. Shoelaces are down. Actively push the back shoelace into the ground. That's going to accentuate the back hip flexor stretch. Holding 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go another 5 seconds. I'm not really holding these stretches as long as I'd like you to. I would encourage you to hold them longer. I will post a full, complete stretching video in the near future that you can follow along and do proper length stretches. Keep your chest on the thigh. Lift the back knee back an inch. Shift back. Toe comes up. Getting a nice stretch. Really deep stretch through the calf. A little bit through the high hamstring here. Fingertip pressure. You won't feel that stretch unless you're keeping your chest in contact with that thigh. So I hope you enjoyed that workout. Lots of posture, lots of core, some functional movement there as well. A reminder, if you found that too challenging, there's a beginner workout. And there's also, if you found that too easy, there's an advanced workout version of my prenatal series. And it is a series, so one of the things that I find interesting, switch sides, shift your weight forward, shoelaces down. There's definitely some good videos out there. I have just not found any that make an actual workout series with progressions. And to me that's very important because exercise is about learning, it's about developing good movement patterns, and it's a process. So we kind of have to build and layer on it. So that's the goal of these videos, is to be able to actually give you some good solid skills, and as well to progress you through some strengthening, some posture, and some flexibility that's going to take you through your pregnancy and hopefully make you feel a lot better. And shift back, lift the back knee back. And by the way, let me know how you are feeling. I will share with you that through trimester 1, unfortunately, I've been feeling like, not so hot. So I can definitely appreciate those of you who have been dealing with nausea. Definitely through why I choose a time of day when I shoot these videos where I'm feeling decent. I have periods through my day. Let's sit down and let's go into a glute stretch. So extend one leg crosses over, lifting up nice and tall. I have periods through my day where I do feel decent, but I definitely have lots of waves of nausea, and for me I get more evening sickness. So you will get through it. I'm just at the very tail end of my first trimester, and I'm beginning to see a light at the end of the tunnel, just starting to feel like a normal human being, like I'm not going to fall deathly ill with the flu every single night. So trust me, I appreciate where you're coming from if you're having trouble getting through this first trimester. If you're having an awesome first trimester and you have no idea what I'm talking about, lucky you. I was much more like that during my first pregnancy, so enjoy it and just keep plugging along. No matter what, for every individual Every pregnancy is different. Every day is different through your pregnancy. So do what you can every day. Try to stay as active as you can. These videos are a great resource to get the proper functional movements and injury prevention type things and maintaining your fitness level throughout. But don't forget to do things that you really enjoy, like going out with your family and friends for hikes or bike rides or power walks, whatever it is. Feel free to enjoy life as well. And then last stretch that I will have you finish. So the last stretches you're going to do are a 90-degree chest stretch. So take your arms 90 degree up against the wall and lean into that stretch. If for any reason you feel any pinching into the shoulder, you can take that to a low chest stretch, your choice. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and over to the other side. Again, 90-degree angle up against that wall. Good chest stretch, core and tight, shoulder stack over top hips. And option again, low chest stretch if you feel that's preferable for you. So thanks so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you for workout 2. Just a quick reminder, when you do these videos, you can choose to do workout 1 and a workout 2 in a given week, or you can do workout 1 a couple of times throughout. So some people like more consistency. If you're someone who likes thrives on change and you like to differ up your workouts, I would do workout 1, workout 2 for the first 2 to 3 weeks, and then go workout 3, 4. Or you can do workout 1 for 2 to 3 weeks, then workout 2 for 2 to 3 weeks. You can kind of do whatever works for you. So good luck, and we'll see you next time.